I just checked the price and Bitcoin is pumping, but will October lead to dumping? This is Around the Blockchain. All right, guys, full disclosure, I was going to do a rhyme and say, get that like button thumping. I ended up not doing it, but now I just want to tell you and make it a little awkward. Guys, we got a fantastic show, 4 great guests. We're at a new time, Monday through Wednesday. We're going to be coming on at 4 p.m., and then we're going to have the Crypto and Brunch Thursdays, 4 p.m. So 4 shows at 4, Monday through Thursday. Well, let's get right into the show. First, we got Dylan Rose, holding it down, locking them curls back. How are you doing today, Dylan?
Yeah, my curls are a little unruly today. I'm all right. I have just been traveling a bit and finally back in LA, and the humidity is definitely making my curls go a little crazy.
There's nothing. Hey, man, you got them Sam Bankman locks. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Also on, we got Doug Hype holding it down. Doug Hype, looks like you slick your hairs back. What's the product in the hair that people are wondering?
Man, this is a thing, I got to get fresh for the show today, DZ, all right? We're making a bull run here, it looks like, in Bitcoin, or something's happening, and I'm feeling it, so I just got to be super aerodynamic, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I got to be ready for, the crazy rush that's happening.
All right, guys, here's my theory. Doug is so slick, he wakes up in the morning, looks in the mirror, says GM, and then just slicks it back with just that. All right, also on today, we have Eric Carlson. Eric Carlson, he said he's looking sloppy. Chat, let him know he's not looking sloppy. Eric Carlson, how are you doing today, Carlson?
Good. Doing good, DZ. Thanks for having me back on. And yeah, I'm definitely in my painting shirt. You got to get out there and hustle. I got some rental properties. I recommend people get hard assets. If you like Bitcoin, you should like real estate too. So.
All right, and there's nothing wrong with painting houses, but we don't recommend huffing it. And then last but not least, we got Hawk Mining. Hawk, how are you doing? First time on the show, you got the big chain, actually mined on the blockchain, correct? I mean, Hawk Mining, been in the chat before. It's good to see you here. You're in the flesh. How's it feeling to be on ATB?
It's great, man. I've watched your show 100 times. Like it. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Hey, man, great lighting in the background. All right, guys, we've already wasted enough time. Let's just get right into the show. We got Bitcoin topping out. It hit 28K today. Let's just show this price chart, folks. This is the price chart for the last 2 weeks. And you just see for the last 2 weeks, very boring. It's even more boring to the left here, but just boring. Oh, we're going to break out. Just kidding. We're more boring. Oh, we're going to break out. Just kidding. We're more boring. But then over the weekend, Bitcoin finally broke out. It felt bullish for the first time, what felt like ages. Social trends are also up for Bitcoin. I looked that up. It is up 85% since March. So in the past 6 months, social trends on X up 85%. The Bitcoin maybe kind of getting out of this range. The short sellers got wrecked, guys. When I say it's been a bullish weekend, shorts lost $115 million. Number one was OKX, followed by Binance and Huobi. Today, Bitcoin got as high as $28,600. And then within the next 5 hours, dropped $1,000. So it looked a little rough. Hawk Mining, I'm going to go to you first. I mean, what's the hash rate looking like? Is the difficulty trending upward? Is the difficulty trending downward? Because a lot of people look at that as just a good macro assessment.
From running, a mining facility, hosting company, we're seeing people right now get a bunch of units. Prices are low. People are preparing for the next bull cycle. So I see a lot of people, my clients included, that are buying these machines for cheap. I mean, right now you can get like a 95 terahash ASIC for like $400 or $500. So everybody's buying into this right now. The new S21 is coming out. We're starting to see a small increase as we get closer and closer to the halving.
All right. I do have a quick question, just a quick follow-up now. A business developer, they put in the order on a Monday, let's say January 1st, they put in the order. How much time is it going to be before they're actually mining a Bitcoin? Is this, they get it Amazon next day and it's turned on in 2 days? Or are we looking at, it's shipped from overseas, more like 3 months? Where is it in the timeline if they order it?
So it depends on how many, right? If you're ordering, under 10, under 20, usually I can get it within a week. Okay. If you're ordering a couple hundred, it'll probably take about a month. You got customs, you got all that stuff. But the minute it lands, we plug it in, we get it configured, and it goes. And we'll have 4 or 5 guys working on it to get it deployed. So it's all about speed in this game. So our clients like it. So the faster we get them on, the faster they make money, and the faster they ROI on those machines. All
right, I want to monopolize the time with you too much longer. Yes or no? Is helium mining dead from Catch Them All?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Don't like helium at all.
I didn't
I'm
know
not a helium fan. Not a helium fan.
Okay. Maybe bias there. Folks, yeah, we moved an hour earlier. It's just we're moving the morning stream earlier. DZ, I know I work a decent amount. I can't work too long, folks. All right, let's get over here to Dylan now. A lot of people were saying, guys, we're going in October. October, it's always bullish. September, it's always bearish. Just follow the trends, guys. September's going down. October's going up. Well, September went up, Dylan Rose. But then people say, well, October, if September was bullish, October will be more bullish. But then on the other side, well, if everyone said it's going up, that means it's going down. Dylan, Uptober or Dumptober? What do you think?
It's tough. I'm more on the side of Dumptober. And the only reason is I think I'm not betting against the halving. And we're now within kind of 6 months. And I think that if I'm able, I'm trying to get Bitcoin as low as possible. So I'm telling my buddies, hey, let's dump this shit and let's dump this stuff and let's try and accumulate before the halving comes in. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm expecting a lot of downward price action, and then I can't imagine much negative price action after March. I think we're all up after March.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go from March and rewind a bit, but I still want to be forward focused here. I shared this tweet. Are we able to share this real quick, Owen? So October, everyone says how bullish October is, mostly just on the percentage of Octobers that are green. But November has outsized gains, and if you look here, average monthly performance of Bitcoin, November is smoking the competition when it comes to average monthly change. A lot of that is early Bitcoin outliers. I understand that, but the facts are, speak for themselves. So, Doug, I want to fast forward to you here. Typically, November's better than October. What are you predicting for 2023? Is this trend going to continue? Are we ending the year with a bang or a whimper?
Look, I'm looking at all the charts, DZ. I've got like candles and flames and all the things and explosions happening, right? I think there's going to be an explosion in November again. This is my prediction. I never make predictions, but I'm doing it. Why? Because the festival season's happening, Christmas and all these things. We're wanting to give gifts. And you know what's a cool gift that's like really eco-friendly? There's no packaging. You don't have to worry about waste, or like the Amazon drivers and the UPS drivers. You could give people crypto, Bitcoin, right? Or, there's all these new things like Friend Tech and Star Arena. Like there's so many ways that you can show support and love to people as opposed to just ordering something from like Amazon, right? Also, what if all of a sudden it's a trend to give people plush animals from crypto? What about Pudgy Penguins? What about like VFriends and all their cool stuff they're doing, right? What if all of a sudden crypto can like tie in a little bit with the holiday season? It can feel good, right? That's what happens. November, people just start spending money because they're bored and they're at home. And look what happened during COVID. People were bored and at home and they started buying crypto. So I see that's what's happening. And I'm looking at the charts and I think we're on a little bit of that upward trend, and it's going to explode in November, DZ, baby.
All right. I like this future you're painting. I'm going to say, corporate interest 10 years from now, Starbucks will do airdrops of the new holiday drink. Everybody get one for free. I'm kind of with this. Let's turn Christmas into the season of giving for airdrops too, kind of like 2021. All right, Eric Carlson here. Let me pull up the 90-day chart. I got to go back 90 days to see when we hit 30K and when we hit 25K. You can see it right there. Just bounce right off 25, even on the 90 days, so showing 25K there. What do you predict we're going to hit next, Eric? We're kind of dead in the middle. If I look at the price, we're $200 away from being smack dab in the middle of 25K and 30K. What do you think we're going to hit next?
So I think we're going to probably chill around the, we might go back and retest 25 just because the 200 weekly EMA is right around there. That's a really important EMA to look at for a couple of different reasons. And you can use the SMA. The EMA is just going to be a little bit higher usually because it weights it to the more recent price action. But it makes a lot of sense if you break down when the halvings are. The halvings are every 210,000 blocks, which is a little less than 2 years. How long is 200 weeks? 4 years for the cycle, a little less than 4 years for the cycle. 200 weeks is just shy of that 4 years. So that's kind of like your average price between halvings. That's why it's such an important price to monitor. And we don't spend a lot of time below it either. We spent a decent amount of time below it this past bull cycle. And I think that can be attributed to we didn't go quite as high as a lot of people thought. We kind of had that double top, so that second one didn't blow off quite as heavily as we all anticipated. But I think we hang around this 200 weekly EMA a little bit longer, maybe bounce down there, retest it. But then I think we're going to start climbing higher and higher going into the halving. It's going to look really good as we go into the next halving. And if you look at last halving, the event, we were climbing steadily going into the halving, but we had kind of that black swan when COVID was announced and we had that huge liquidity crisis. The price of oil actually went negative. So you had to pay somebody to take your oil. So that's a major black swan event that really was kind of a world crisis where everyone just needed to get their hands on cash. And of course, Bitcoin's going to react because it's a very liquid asset. It's easy to sell and get your money out right away. So unless something like that happens, I think we maybe retest that 200 EMA and then we kind of climb our way higher slowly but surely right into the halving.
Climb higher and higher like a Pidgeotto. Catch them all. Sell all crypto and buy Pokemon. Gary Gensler still might come after you. Be careful, folks. All right, let's talk about the ETH futures here. I pulled up the past 24 hours of ETH's price. Now, Bitcoin has been performing fairly well. You see the nice little spike 24 hours ago. But guys, you fast forward, we have actually dropped below that line right there, and now we're coming in a little bit lower. So Bitcoin is actually positive. I think it's 2.4% to the upside. Ethereum is down 0.4%. If we look, yes, Bitcoin actually up a little, up 2.7 as ETH has fallen even further, now down 0.5% from 0.4 there. So, but that is all on the back of some good news today, folks. And we warned you last week, could be a buy the rumor, sell the news. If you listen to us, you bought some ETH on Friday, you dumped it yesterday, you're looking pretty good, folks. All right, well, Van Eck, they officially launched the long-awaited ETH futures. They are asset manager worth $77.8 billion. And they're going to have an ETF product available for the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Is going to be invested standardized cash-settled ETH futures. Kind of an important note. There's a lot of products launching today. I'll just lay them out for you. Bitwise ETH strategy, Bitwise Bitcoin Ether, equal weight strategy, ProShares Ether strategy, Bitcoin and Ether strategy, Bitcoin Ether market cap weight strategy, and also Grayscale seeking to convert its ETH trust there. So a lot of news on the ETH investments and a lot of news with the ETH ETFs here. Now, I have a question for you, Dylan. A lot of people are saying, there's confusion like, well, how come this Bitcoin ETF isn't approved, but this ETH one was? It was like, well, no, that's a spot versus a future. They're delaying the spot. They're giving green lights to futures. Dylan, why is that?
Well, I think ultimately with futures, it's a lot easier for the entity to have liquidity, right? When you're betting on futures, ultimately there's a little bit of flexibility there, and someone's not going to be taking it in and out of the market. So I think it's really just a liquidity problem. I think having proofs of reserves is a lot more pertinent when you have spot trading, and that's because spot trading, you're getting it at the price right there and then. Whereas again, in futures, it's some future price. So the idea that you need liquidity today, right now, is not actually a big deal there.
All right. And Hannah, what do you think about this message for C90? Details are on Twitter on the time change. Monday through Wednesday, it's 4 p.m. Thursday was tequila or tacos or something at 4 p.m.
Coping with crypto.
Okay. There she goes.
Crypto brunch. That's what it's called, actually.
Crypto brunch is what it's called, folks. All right. Now, Doug, a lot of people are wondering, well, this is something I can get my family members behind, but they're like, well, I kind of just see two choices here. We're not going to tell them about the NFT market. We're not going to tell them about the degen coins. Let's just lead them to Bitcoin or Ether here. They're wondering, what's going to be the better investment over the next 12 months? What do you think leading up to the next bull run? What is going to outperform? Is it going to be Bitcoin or are it going to be Ethereum like it was last time?
I think if you're like sitting around your Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas or whatever, it's much easier to sell people on Bitcoin, right? You're saying it's a stable coin, or sorry, it's there's no inflation, right? It's like a set amount. There's so many things about Bitcoin that about that is used around the world, to hedge like governments and stuff. So if you're sitting down and you're having a conversation with a normie or family, there's so many things about Bitcoin that make it attractive to them, and it's simple. They don't have to think a lot. They don't have to get into like what is a smart contract, right? But so it's a really easy onboarding for them. Now, if there's somebody that's very high technical and they're really interested in like building and maybe they're in tech already, maybe Ethereum is the thing that you should talk to them about. Maybe they would be really interested in Ethereum. They've often like just mimic each other. I mean, I would say, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Bitcoin just as far as like the lack of inflation and how many people use it around the world. But if you're really caring about building, like go into Ethereum and then it can get you into all the other parts of crypto and stuff. So I think it's really important to when you're talking to a person, meet them where they're at. What do they want? What are they looking for? You know what I mean? What is going to help them feel comfortable so that they feel they're in control and in charge? And so I would say that, like, by far, in a way, the world like believes more in Bitcoin than anything else. The builders, like us in the community, we might really love Ethereum. We might really love all the other layer 2s and stuff, but we need Bitcoin to push us in the right direction. We need it to, like, you know, they're just wagging us as the tail. So, but I see that's going to be a really good thing all of a sudden. And then people are starting to tokenize. It's easy. Once they start tokenizing, like the Deutsche Bank and all these people with a large amount of power and money start tokenizing things and giving them part of a Lamborghini for Christmas, you know, maybe then Ethereum at that point will be the talk of the table at Christmas time, right? Like, oh, can I own a Lamborghini for like whatever amount? That might be really enticing to them. I always think about behavior, and I think these things could be really, really interesting because that's, you know, what my family talks to me about, DZ. They're like, why is crypto crazy? What should I do? Should I get into it? And you have to really understand what is going to make them excited about the product, about the company, about the whole community, whatever it is. So yeah, I think that's super important, but Bitcoin is always going to lead the way.
You said something really smart there at the end. It's all about, you know, you didn't say incentive. What are they going to be excited about? Incentives drive behavior. Find out what that relative is into. Is it security? Is it stability? Is it just they want to buy a Lambo? All right. Well, Eric, that kind of leads me to my next question here. You know, I agree with Doug. It's probably easier to sell that relative that's not into crypto. It's easier to sell them on Bitcoin versus Ethereum. But these recent ETH future ETFs, if you had a relative at this coming Thanksgiving, they ask you about it. They say, I'm thinking about it and I'm on the fence. Would you recommend that they do it or not?
So, DZ, I don't know if you know this, but recently I quit my job as a financial advisor. So one of these things, this is something that I used to do with my clients all the time. It's all about meeting your client where they're at and understanding what they're trying to achieve, knowing goals. You need to have goal-based investing. So if I have a relative, if I've got an uncle and they're 65, 70 years old, and they're like, oh, you know, I've got this money that I'm playing around with. What should I do? I'm like, well, if you're playing around with it, throw it in ETH. I think you're probably going to get a better return. If I've got someone who's, you know, I'm building towards something, I got a 40-year-old cousin who wants to start investing into Bitcoin or Ethereum, then I'm going to say, hey, you know, Bitcoin has been around a lot longer. We know the schedule. It's, you know, proof of work is something that is not just going to go away overnight. There's too much money involved in Bitcoin. It's less risky. Put some money into that. You know, use it almost like a savings account that over time you're just going to see it grow and grow in value. You know, it's very situational. For most of the people who talk to me about crypto, when I was doing my financial advising, they'd be like, well, do you guys have any crypto available? We didn't, but they would always want it because they just say, oh, it's going to go up like crazy and I want to get rich. So, you know, at that point, you're gambling. Might as well just go buy a meme coin, which I personally think are net negatives to the crypto space because some people make it big. Most people are going to lose their butt on it and they're going to leave crypto and they're not going to come back until it's much too late. So
much too late. Hey, they'll buy the top. You know, I can make a joke about exit liquidity, but we don't want to dump on grandma. All right, let's see. What's his name here? Hella Crypto. I wonder what happens to the channel. We're going to continue building. We did do a new time change. It's going to be a little bit of a transition period here, but we know that they're going to start percolating in. Also, who's that French toaster? Eric Carlson, did you retire from the NHL? Can we share the screen? Similar look here. That is a different, see, it's spelled different there. That is a different spelling. We go back to Eric's window there. You see Eric spells it with a C. So you can see, yeah, it's a different spelling. All right. But, you know, good observation there, Toaster. All right, last question here. And, you know, I'm glad you said the thing about, you know, helping people invest. It reminds me of our sponsor, Linqto. If that just sounds like a whole lot of mess, what is going on, these ETFs? I just need someone to help me navigate all these issues. Check out Linqto. We have a link in the description. All right, last question on this topic. We'll move on. Hawk Mining, I want to ask you about the alts. I feel like you got your ear to the streets when it comes to the alts. It's not just the gold chain, but, you know, when you're mining, you kind of have to, you got to be seeing what's the next thing? What's the next big wave? Well, I want to ask you, what do you think is the next of these three alts to get an ETF? I'm going to give you the three biggest ones, basically. XRP, Cardano, Solana. Which of those is getting the first futures ETF or spot ETF? Oh,
sorry. In my opinion, sorry, I was muted. In my opinion, ADA all day long. Now, I might butcher his name, but I believe it's Charles Hodgkinson. We've seen him go to Congress. We've seen him talk about, I know not a lot of us don't like regulation, and I get that, but he's talked to these people about it. He's kind of leading the way a little bit. with the government. And I think that if ADA comes out with one, I think it's the first out of these three to get approved.
Okay. All right. Now, what do you think about Cardano's make them choose that one in particular over, say, Solana, which is VC friendly, and XRP, which is, getting a lot of licenses?
Honestly, I don't know too much about XRP and Solana, to be honest with you. I haven't paid much attention. What I do know is that I think ADA has got the stronger chance. I know XRP has been going through a lot of the criticism with the courts, legal issues in court. So I think that's going to stop them a little bit. Solana, I don't know that side about Solana, so I'll be honest. I'm not going to talk about things I don't know. But ADA, I think out of these three, in my opinion, I know from the back end of Solana, they've had a lot of issues they've been going down a lot. Their blockchain has gone down a lot. I don't really like Solana, to be honest with you, because we've seen those problems on this side. But I mean, ADA, in my opinion, has got the best to win out of
all right. Hawk, C90's wondering, is Army Piper right next to you? They say it looks like his studio.
No, that's
okay,
nobody.
Okay.
All right.
All right. That's a rumor, folks. All right, let's move forward here and talk about SBF buying off Trump. All right, so there's a bombshell book coming out. It's the Michael Lewis book. He's been following SBF. He seems to be doing a little bit of cheerleading lately. Well, he spoke with 60 Minutes yesterday and revealed some bombshells, folks. And don't worry, we are going to cover the court case this week. We're just kind of, we want to wait for the facts to report on that, not just they're going up tomorrow. All right, well, in the special, they go over, basically this giant allegation here involving Donald Trump and $5 billion. Bankman considered paying Trump not to run for president. The amount, $5 billion. We have a nice little visual. Should I pull it up or do you have it over there? That is $100 bills. That is $1 billion. So it's going to be 5x that. That is Ivanka and Barron Trump, if you're wondering. So that is $1 billion visualized in $100 bills right there. So that's allegedly Trump's team told SBF it would cost $5 billion for Trump to step down if you wanted to pay him, coerce him, bribe, whatever the word you want to use here. Lewis said, this is a quote from the author, Michael Lewis. The question Sam had was not just, is $5 billion enough to pay Trump not to run, but was it legal? That is a good question. And Trump did not respond to 60 Minutes for comment as of, let's say, about 3 hours ago. So interesting allegations here. Dylan, I don't think you're really going to take too strong a side one way or the other here on the politics. So I just want to ask you, middle of the fence here. What are your thoughts of this situation?
I mean, I love it, honestly. Like it's kind of funny. And this is like in a personal world where, like, let's just say I was working with someone and I really wanted them to get fired, but I can't go to the boss and complain. What I've thought about, I know this sounds hilarious, but I've wanted to like make a severance package fund where everyone can kind of contribute to this severance package, right? So I see it kind of similar. Like SBF was maybe going to do it himself, but I could also see people coming up with like a DAO and saying like, okay, could we all contribute our funds together to pay someone to not do something? So I really love it. I mean, obviously that $5 billion from SBF didn't mean anything. And I know you're talking about the Elon Musk book too. So it's funny to hear from the perspective of like how serious people actually thought about SBF. So unfortunately, I think it was probably the same thing. They probably said, yeah, no way we're going to get that. And I also think from Donald Trump's perspective, if he took that money, he would essentially be saying, yeah, I'm not actually a billionaire and I need this money. So I don't think it would have ever worked. But the idea for maybe not Donald Trump, but, getting your boss fired and getting everyone to like contribute money to get a severance package together, I hope that continues to grow.
It was a nice little aside there when you brought up, was it Elon Musk? I believe Elon Musk, I'm paraphrasing here, SBF set off his bullshit meter and he knew he wasn't serious. So just kind of paraphrasing for him there. Now, Doug Hype, should this be legal? I know this isn't legal advice. This, you don't have a law degree from Harvard. You're not a JAG officer like DeSantis, but what are your thoughts?
You want the truth, DZ? Yeah. I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? Yes, I called the red alert, all right, on Sam Bankman-Fried, all right? Look, everybody knows that effective altruism, and when someone drives like, a hybrid car and they keep saying nice things, that they're a ruse, right? They're all trying to mimic Steve Jobs. I mean, look at like the Harmony blockchain and all the stuff that happened there. Like I knew way before everybody else, except for the people that really knew. Anyways, it's the thing is that, like, if you're actually active and looking to see what person's intentions are, you can find it out pretty quickly. So, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I will admit that, like, he made the right call there. He, maybe because of his own personal insight of, like, his own actions and his own surroundings, he's looking for, the BS meter in people and stuff, right? And who knows, maybe he was lying about that too. But the thing is that people in power and money know, like, that everybody's a shark. They know that power is what really matters, and they know that, like, the PR is something that you manipulate, right? So who knows? Maybe that was, like, just a ruse. Maybe the $5 million is a total ruse, but on the back channels, he was doing other stuff too. You have no idea. You can't just read the news and assume that's all that's happening, right? And the question is it legal or not? Look, things are legal as long as people with money and power say they're legal, DZ. Okay, we know that. We know that for a fact. In fact, we talk about politics and business here and all the time, and this idea of, like, whether it's not okay for politicians to take this and to invest in stuff. I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where everybody is okay with everything. There's no way for that to happen. Are you going to be Tony Montana, crypto Twitter bro, or are you going to be a dude or a woman that thinks that, like, we need to have everything in government and everything, like, out in the open and perfect and whatever? Because look at this, bro. I'm telling you right now, I was a delegate for Bernie Sanders because he wanted transparency, and look how that got him. Like, I'm surprised he's still alive today, DC. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, let's be honest in government. Oh, let's actually, like, reveal what we're actually doing behind the scenes and call people on their stuff and actually get rid of, all the problems that we have with corruption. And you know what that happened? Everybody rallied against him in politics, right? So, you can do it as much as you want. And I think the key, though, here, DZ, is you have to just be a good person, make good decisions, and try to do what you think your goals are in life, and don't be too extreme. It's not just because I studied with the Buddhist monks in India, DZ, who told me that, you have to have balance. But we need to have less extremism, and we need to come together and just make good decisions. So was it legal or not? Probably sort of not, but DZ, in the real world of, like, the public forum, like, what does it even matter? Politicians every day are committing fraud, taking bribes, doing whatever. And if you're someone that's popular as the leaders of our government are, like the super popular ones, our president, people running for president, like, it kind of doesn't sort of matter. We care more about our security and about the big picture than we do about these individual things. So I'm the type of person, DZ, I care about our security, I care about our country, I care about everybody. And we need to find a better way forward other than just making things clear, black and white.
All right. Thank you. Great take there. Now, we have someone in the chat saying SBF looks like Corey Matthews from Boy Meets World if he took methamphetamines. Can we show the picture of Corey real quick? Here's Corey. Give me a second here. Now we're going to go over to SBF. So this is Corey if he took meth, according to C90. I'm not taking any. I don't know, folks. All right. Eric Carlson. All right. $5 billion for Donald Trump. Is this a high figure, a low figure, or like the porridge? Is it just right?
It's definitely one of those high figures. If you, you can look at the Forbes 400 list, and like, to be on the Forbes 400, you have to have something like $2.5 billion, something like that. Now, the Forbes 400 is exactly accurate. There are sovereign wealth funds out there, Oman, UAE, Saudi Arabia. The whole wealth of the country is owned by the royal family. So it's not, there are richer people out there than are on the Forbes list. But still, $5 billion, that's going to leapfrog you over a ton of people on that list. That's an outrageous number. It's like whenever you get those phone calls or those texts that say, hey, we're interested in buying your property. And it's who gave them your number? You don't want to sell your house. So I always tell them the same thing that Donald Trump's people told SBF. Oh, you can buy it sight unseen for $1 million, way more than they would ever be willing to give me. And if they did say yes, it's like, well, okay, then you've now made it worth my while. But it's an outrageous number. They knew it wasn't realistic, and they're just doing it to, throw it to the side, because Donald Trump doesn't need that $5 billion. He likes the attention. He's been on TV since the late 80s, right? The dude just loves to have his name in the papers and on TV and people talking about him. So that's what he cares about. And that's what he wants to do with this presidential election more than anything.
All right. And we have breaking news from Action Crypto CEO. Might be broken by Martin Shkreli. Breaking news, folks. SBF got a haircut. All right. Is it bear markets? Can you tell? All right. Hawk Mining. I thought you said I thought you said something that rhymes with cut. I was like, whoa, family-friendly show here, Eric Carlson. We don't talk about his prison names. Although, if chat, you want to spam some SBF prison names, now's the time. Hurry. All right. Of course, this is kind of serious, but that's a fun thing. All right, now, Hawk Mining. Let's play out a scenario here. Let's game theory this out. Trump takes the $5 billion and he no longer runs. Would you consider that a win or a loss for Trump, and why?
Well, it's a loss because so while you guys were talking, and real quick before we answer this, I have a question for Doug. Doug, did you wear that jacket with the monks? I want to know. Let me know if they like that jacket. Did you wear that jacket when you went to go see
No,
him?
actually,
I gotta know.
No, actually,
that jacket's amazing.
This actually was the monks actually like created this from the universe ether, and it just like evaporated in front of my face, and then this is how Doug Hype was created.
Oh, okay.
Materialized.
Right, cool.
Just
materialized. That's right.
That's awesome. Anyway, so is it good for Trump or not? Would he take the money? Look, man, I was Googling it while you guys were talking. It says he's worth $2.5 billion. But nobody's true net worth is. I don't think Trump would take the money. I think it'd be bad for him. Trump is a guy that's not pro crypto either. So is it good for us if he doesn't run? I mean, probably, but then who knows what the next person in office is going to be, honestly. So for the Trump administration and him, if he took the money and he didn't run, I don't know, man. Got mixed feelings on it, to be honest with you. I don't think it would be good for him at all. I think it would be negative. It would show that he's not who he really says he is. He takes it.
All right, here's Trump. I'm not a fan of crypto and other of these currencies. I like the U.S. dollar. They're not money. I was just pulling up the quote real quick. That's all. All right, well, guys, or go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, he did hold a substantial amount of crypto, and he sold it recently. That I do know. I think that was just right there on the Google search that you guys just showed. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, look, Trump was deregulatory, right? But he wasn't pro-crypto. So it was kind of like this love-hate relationship a lot of the people in the crypto sphere had with him, especially from the mining perspective, right? So, what's the positive? What's the negative there?
All right. Well, guys, we had a weird thing happen. We got a 4-way tie. Doug, you still haven't got that crown solely. I don't know if we have what's going on here, Doug. I feel like
I'm celebrating.
You got your win.
We won.
You got your win. But the haters will say there's an asterisk. But guys, we are across the board. Everyone's looking good. Dylan, Doug, Eric, Hawk, just give us about one sentence, just one parting message for the people. You could talk about SBF if you want, or we could talk about the recent bullish action that we've been feeling. Just give us a parting thought here. Dylan, we'll start with you.
FTT to the moon.
Damn it, that's a good one. Doug, what do you got?
Look, let's meet up, baby. I'll see you guys in Art Basel or something. Let's make some real relationships and real friends and just have like an amazing love fest in Web3, baby. That's what it's all about. We're going to have so much fun. DZ, I'll see you soon, baby. Let's go.
All right. Polycule vibes. Eric.
All right. If you're here watching this now, you're through the bear market. We are nothing but up from here going into the halving. So accumulate.
I love that. Hawk Mining, into it you.
Buy Bitcoin. Nothing else at this point really matters. It's the safest bet. If you're going to make sure you get your family and your friends involved in it, make sure they know how to secure their keys, make sure it's off the exchange, buy Bitcoin. It's the safest bet. That's what I'm ending with.
All right, folks. So what is this 4-way tie? Is this Captain Planet? Well, you know what I would like you to do? Put your ring in the center, hit that touch screen on that like button, hit that like button on your way out, folks. Everybody here is putting out really great content. All right, Dylan gets the tiebreaker for the comment, guys. They're all 4 really great comments. I think the FTT, it was a curveball. I wasn't expecting it. But all right, guys, again, we have a new time, 4 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then coffee, crypto brunch. So we got 4 shows at 4 moving forward. Hey, that kind of rhymes and sounds good together. But guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit all their content. Dylan Rose putting out great stuff. Doug Hype putting out great stuff. Eric Carlson and Hawk Mining Co. Of course, highly recommend check them all out. Until next time, DZ out. Thank you for joining.